Hello, everybody. It's Birdie here, the recycled hippie chick. Hey, I want to do a little warning first. You can't see her, but Milkshake is right here. So if you see a white blob float across your screen, it's not Casper, it's a cat. So I wanted to just do a visit this morning. It's too cold out in my art room, and my propane heater out there is dying a slow death starting yesterday. Um, I had to relight it about 5 times. The pilot just kept poofing out in the middle. And so my husband came home and I told him about it. And he said that it was burning too lean or rich or something because the flame was yellow instead of blue. So he said it was dying and that I needed to get a new one. It's an old propane heater that my parents had over 10 years ago, and now I've had it about 4 or 5. So, just one of those little wall mounts. So it's time. I'm going to go today to Atwood's and see if I can get one. If it's the Lord's will that I have a cheap one today, I'm praying that there is one on clearance because, good Lord, the bikinis are out at the grocery store. So surely it's time for the heaters to go on clearance, right? So I'm hoping that I can get one of those cheap today. Anyway, I was watching Nick the Booksmith a while back, and I don't know when she did the video. I'm so delayed and behind the times of all you art people that I'm just now binge watching everybody, and it could have been from 3 years ago. I don't know. But to me, she just did it last week, had a video talking about her health issues. And I thought, she said the very exact same thing I feel. She said, I don't really want to talk about it on my videos, but there's times when I don't get a video done or, you know, yada yada. And I thought maybe I ought to let you know why. So when this happens, you know what's going on in my life. So I thought, you know what? I should do that too. Instead of whining and complaining about it in the videos, which I don't want to do, I'll do one video to explain it. You'll all know about it. And then I can go on with my positive poly practicing and try to climb on up the hill. So I had decided for 2021 I wanted to do 2 extra videos. The other one I might want to do on a regular basis. I wanted to do one on my health and get that out of the way. And the other one I wanted to do was my God video. I call it my God video. I love God with all my heart. And there's just things I read or want to share in my devotional or, whatever I'm doing or listening to, but I don't want to really share it on my videos when I'm art journaling because some of y'all, maybe you're not God people and you don't want to listen to Birdie talk God. So I thought I'll do a like maybe coffee with Birdie or something like I'm doing now. On the too cold days, I can be out in the art room or a rainy day or just when I'm inspired. And then if you want to hear me talk about God, you can listen. If you don't, you can pass that one up and keep going. No big deal. So that's my kind of goal for 2021. And I'm so nervous about even telling you about this because my brain is so mush that I don't even know if I can remember to keep all my squirrels in a row. My husband always calls me squirrel because I get off on a tangent and then forget what I was talking about. So I've got some notes here in front of me, and I thought I would just share with you a little bit, and maybe if I can just help one person that maybe is going through the same thing I am, then this video will have been worth it. First of all, let me tell you, I am not a doctor. Lord knows, I am just a goofy, oddball artist, housewife that is trying to figure out what's wrong with her herself. I have seen 6 doctors, most of them to no avail. And one doctor did tell me what she thought, but anyway, I'll get into all that. But I am not telling you how to treat yourself. I'm not telling you how to diagnose yourself. I am just telling you my journey. And if you want to listen to that, fine. That's my disclaimer, okay? So, a little bit of my background. I got a drippy nose. A little bit of my background. I have been a personal gardener for 15 years. Um, I've been up to 60 clients at one time. I had like one neighborhood area called College Hill in Wichita that I just kind of called my beat, and I ran up and down the streets of a few blocks and just did everybody and absolutely loved it. Did everything in their flower beds. Um, Me and my truck, I call her Shirlene, and my little garden trailer, Tater Tot. We have done that for 15 years, and I've loved every second of it. Gardening was my passion. I absolutely loved it. And then um, my parents both, my mom got Alzheimer's, and my dad had a stroke and had a stroke related dementia. So I had to start being their caregivers full time. So I got rid of all my customers down to a half a day's worth, and then I went took care of them. And then when they got bad enough, uh, after about 7 years, I had to put them in a nursing home. Then I went back to gardening all day long. Well, then all of a sudden, I'm in a customer's yard, and she comes out and tells me that I need to pack my stuff up and go to the doctor. I'm like, okay. Well, I did feel odd, but I had been feeling odd off and on. And she said, Amy, you're white as a sheet and you're sweating like a dog, and you need to go to the doctor. And I'm not going to take no for an answer. So I did. I packed up my tools and I went to my general doctor, and she caught what was happening to me on an EKG, and she sent me immediately to a cardiologist, and the cardiologist uh, diagnosed me with something called P.O.T.S syndrome, posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So I she puts me on a beta blocker, and I live like this for a couple years, and then a couple years later I start feeling worse, and it affected, I've had a hysterectomy. I'm on hormone replacement, and if any of you have ever had that, you know that your hormones can make you loopy. I mean, my husband will tell you that. So I just figured between my hormones and whatever else, that's why I'm starting to feel worse. And now I have to push pause because I have a dog that wants in. A dog that can go out the doggy door, but is too dingy to know how to come back in and stands at the back door and barks. Anyway, so I just learned to live with it, right? Um, so I'm fast forwarding to where I think my back, I have about four herniated discs in my back from gardening over the years, and I slowly start slowing down on my gardening and thinking I've got to quit gardening. The pain is getting to where I just can't continue on. So I'm telling everybody I start transferring this gal that was helping me, showing her the ropes so she could take over all my clients and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm helping a family friend with a garage sale, and he takes me in the house one day and tells me, I would like for you to go see my doctor. I'm like, why? And he said, you're not normal. You're not how you normally are. You're cranky, you're irritable, you're hot. I would like to take you right now to go see my cardiologist. It was a friend of his that he mowed for. I'm like, okay. So I went to see his cardiologist, and he set up a stress test for me and blah, 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 all this other stuff. This was a strike one doctor for me. He let me know that my stress test came back that he didn't think I had POTS, he said. So he took me off my beta blocker. He said, I don't think your other doctor was right. I don't think you have POTS. Let's do a stress test and I'll see you in 6 months. So he did a stress test and he sent me a letter saying your blood pressure goes up on the high end over 200 with exertion, and that you need to be aware of this when you're doing any activity. And I'm thinking, okay, and that's not good. What do I do about it? That was on blood pressure medicine that he had put me on, and I still go up over 200 on the top with any exertion. So I'm like, and you want me to see me in 6 months and I'm off my beta blocker? Well, within 2 months of being off my beta blocker, all of my POTS symptoms, and if you're not familiar with POTS, it's where your heart rate from any postural movement goes from a normal 50 or 60 up to 150. And it stays there for any length of time. Mine was doing it for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then bam, it would go back to normal. But while it's up there, you feel like you've just ran a marathon. You're panting, you're sweating, you're just crazy, and it just fatigues you and makes you irritable from having to deal with every movement, dealing with that. Well, I'm then off my beta blocker, and he doesn't want to see me again. So I just cancel him out. Then I go to a naturopath. I decide I'm going to do this natural. I'm a natural girl. I don't want to do, all this doctor stuff. Well, they have a consultation with me and tell me I need to see an endocrinologist, which I had never heard of. An endocrinologist, and they wanted me to have my thyroid and my adrenals checked. So I go to an endocrinologist. I have all of that checked, and they tell me it's all fine. So then I go to another cardiologist she says she thinks I have Lyme disease, and that the Lyme has given me the POTS, because I have been bitten, by ticks. I'm a farm girl, okay? We just pull them ticks off and keep on marching. And people will ask you, well, have you ever gotten a bullseye? Well, yeah. I mean, we get bullseyes, red spots, welts, you name it. Every tick will affect you differently, and you just rub dirt on it and go on. You don't think about going to the doctor and having every little spot on you examined. I had also been in Branson, back where I used to live, and when I came home, I traveled 5 hours to get back home. When I came home, my husband had picked off over 50 seed ticks off of me, and these were not a normal seed tick. Like, they're the size of a head of a pin. These were smaller. You could hardly even see them and couldn't even grab them with tweezers. So I had those too. I knew a little bit about Lyme disease because my dad had it about 4 years before he passed away. So I start trying to find a Lyme doctor, an LLMD. I went to my general practitioner. She tested me for Lyme and it came back negative. But then she said, I will tell you it's 80% false negative. I'm like, why did you even give me this test if it's 80% false negative? Well, she said the other one that you have to have is you have to go to a LLMD doctor, and insurance doesn't cover it, and it costs $600 or more. So I start looking up an LLMD doctor. Well, Wichita, Kansas doesn't have one. And the closest place that has anybody knowledgeable about Lyme is in Missouri, some other town in Missouri. And once you get tested, well, my cardiologist told me, I can pretty much diagnose you with Lyme without testing you. But she said, if you want to go spend your money and get tested, you can. But she said, there's not really a cure for Lyme. You can go into remission, but she said it's just really kind of trying to help you feel good through it. I was not going to take all the steroids. I did take 1 2 week course of the doxycycline, which is some type of a antibiotic that they use for Lyme. Um, and then from then, it's like steroids and all this other stuff, and I don't want no part of that. And I just decided I was just going to search it myself and try to change my diet and supplements and basically just learn how to live with it, because it's not to the debilitating stage for me at this point. So I decided that I was going to come home and get my mindset ready and pull myself out of this rut and try to figure out how to take care of myself. I just want to tell you some of my symptoms, and this is probably going to be very boring for you, but if some of you out there have some of this, it may be where you have been to doctor after doctor and they tell you your test results are fine or everything looks good, and you think you're going crazy because you really think you're sick. You may have Lyme. You may want to look in that direction. I don't know what an autoimmune disease is. I don't know what all this stuff is, but I can tell you, I can fake it really well. I can act like I feel good in front of you and then go home and crash. That's kind of what it is. You think someone looks or acts well, but you have no idea what's going on inside of them. The pain that they feel, you just have no idea. And then for somebody to tell you they don't think anything's wrong, I've been tempted to get a counselor, because if nothing's wrong, I must be crazy, until I see that other people that have it are in the same boat as I am. Lyme or P.O.T.S, because a lot of Lyme patients get P.O.T.S. It messes with their blood pressure. It lowers your voice. It affects your smell and your taste. Now, I'm not saying that these symptoms are with me every single day. I have good days and I have bad days. I have really good days where I think, oh my gosh, there's nothing wrong with me. I can get through this. And then the very next day, I can't get out of bed. So it's just the craziest thing. My vision blurs. I get floaters or auras, I say it's like a rainbow in my vision, kind of like an oil spill. You know how it leaves that color film on it? I get that in my vision sometimes. Um, I feel clammy and flu feeling a lot, especially when I get tired. I'm just kind of sweaty and clammy. You know, like when you're getting the flu and you start getting a little achy and just kind of tired feeling. I get that a lot. I sweat sometimes out of nowhere. I'm just like, if I start to clean the house, I have to put a headband on. When I was doing gardening, I had to wear a headband all the time because I just dripped with sweat and stink like a sailor. Never have I ever done that before. These symptoms got so bad that this last April, I was going to try to make it through one more year of gardening to keep showing my little helper how to do things. And by the end of April, I said, I can't. I had to pay somebody to come drag my mulch bags and lay them along the flower beds, because I couldn't get them off my trailer and drag them myself. And I thought, when you can't drag your own mulch, girlfriend, it's time to give it up. So I had to completely quit work, and I'm only 57. And my body feels exactly like my mom felt at 75. So I told my husband, what am I going to feel like at 75? Am I going to feel like 100, or am I going to be even survive? I mean, I have no idea. It just scares you that you don't know. Anyway, I get itchy palms. My palms are itchy all the time. They're not dry. I just itch my palms all the time. I have muscle tension. When I'm driving, I catch myself just white knuckling on the steering wheel, clenching my booty. Like when I go to bed, I have to mentally make myself relax the muscles in my body because I'm just tense all the time. I have arthritis. You can see I've got, I'm getting swelling and nodules. My fingers are just getting arthritic. They hurt all the time. Every joint, muscle in my body hurts. When I get up and start walking, I feel okay. But when I sit down for any length of time and get back up, I feel like I'm 80. So I have mood changes. I have inflammation, stiff neck, achy joints. I go to the chiropractor regularly and he does not relieve it. Not that my chiropractor is not good. It's just that these symptoms don't actually, with a massage or chiropractor, with the Lyme, it actually sometimes agitates it and makes you more sore than you were before. I have my blood pressure that spikes over 200. I have heart palpitations. I get out of breath. I lack strength. I mean, there's times when I go out and feed the goats and I think, man, this is going to be a good day. I'm planning what I'm going to do that day, and I get back in the house and I just feel this wave come over me. My muscles get rubbery like a noodle. My depression comes on, and I know I'm over it. I'm going downhill. It's done. Uh, I have fatigue. I wake up exhausted. Sleeping does not take care of my fatigue. I sometimes have to take a nap. I don't go to bed well at night because I can't hardly go to sleep. I either have to take NyQuil or melatonin or something like that to even get me to go to sleep. I have hearing loss, a ringing in my ears that gets worse and worse. I now have 2 pitches of ringing in both ears. It sounds like in the summer when you open your windows and the locusts are going ew, ew, outside in the trees. That's what my ringing is doing all the time at 2 different pitches. And this one here, now this year, has acquired a hum, like when you put your phone by your bed on vibrate and somebody calls and it goes, Well, now I have that in my right ear. Yeah, you wonder why I'm a little loopy? Hello. I can't lose weight, which is strange to me because Lymies, they call them, people with Lyme normally do lose weight. I've had a gastric bypass and lost almost 100 pounds and have gained 40 of it back in probably the past 3 years and cannot lose it. I mean, I still can't eat over probably a cupful at a time, so my stomach is still small, but yet I gain weight. So I don't understand it. I have no motivation. Sometimes I go out in my art studio and I just sit there. I can't come up with a thing to do. I mean, I just sit there and stare for a couple hours and then just get up and come back in the house. When I go out there and you see me having fun and doing stuff, I've made myself do it, and I've watched somebody else's video and got inspiration from them to do my own video because it's gone. My motivation's gone. I have anxiety to the max. I call it fight or flight. You know, when you're driving down the road and you see a policeman, and whether you're speeding or not, you get this heart attack feeling going on that just makes shivers go up your skull. And I don't know if you get that, but I do. And I get that at the least little thing. I mean, it takes nothing for me to get that anxiety. Tingling hands and arms. From my shoulders down, I'm tingling most of the time. Chiropractor doesn't adjust it out. I get muscle twitches where you can see in my right arm, my muscle just goes like that. Cold feet and hands, most all the time. My hands and feet are cold. I'm heat and cold intolerant, where I've had 2 heat strokes now because I can't handle the heat. And, I'm a gardener. I'm used to being outside 104-degree days every day. I can't do it now. Cold intolerant. My husband and I used to go out and cut wood. We burned wood for heat. There's no way I could go cut wood anymore. I mean, just couldn't do it. I get dizzy and lightheaded with any kind of postural movement. Standing up, you get dizzy and you kind of got to get your bearings before you go. I'm jittery, like you've had too much coffee. I'll get these spells where my vision will get dark and I just get jittery. It's just weird. Brain fog. I sometimes feel like I have dementia. I've watched my mom go through it, my dad, and I think, you know what? I'm getting it. But I feel like it's from whatever's wrong with me. Puffy eyes. I have puffy eyes. My above and my below just feel fluid filled. I will tell you that I've had surgery just this summer, just in July, on my upper eyelids, and she barely took any of it off. I mean, I feel like they're going to be hanging down within the next couple years again. But she says this is all fluid or swelling up here. So I don't know if it's one of the symptoms. So I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, there you have it. Birdie's long list of symptoms. I have researched and looked and watched videos of other people, and I'm just starting this journey on how to get my mind ready to be able to go through and handle this myself. Right now, as it stands, I really feel like I need to go to Missouri and have that confirmation for myself to know that I have it. I don't want to live life thinking I might have it, just because that cardiologist diagnosed me from my symptoms. I want a blood test telling me that's what I have. So this year, I will probably go to Missouri and get tested for it. But that's where I'm at. I don't like to leave the house. I got dressed today because I knew I was doing this video and I have a hair appointment. So yeah, there's days I don't get dressed. I'm doing videos in my jammies, and I don't care to leave, coronavirus or not. I get my nose out of whack when somebody wants me to come to town and clean a house. I can go to town and clean a house and take me 2 or 3 hours, and then I come home and I collapse. I can't even hardly clean a house. I mean, cleaning is so easy compared to gardening. If I have my grandkids over and spend the night, the second I take them home, I come home and sleep the rest of the day. It absolutely exhausts me to even have my grandkids anymore. And that just irritates the shit out of me. I want to be able to have my grandkids. I want to go get them and go hiking and do everything. And I'm 57 years old, and all I can do is have them come over and swing and take them home and collapse. It's just absolutely crazy. So anyway, there you have it. That's my whining for the day. And yeah, I'll fake it when you see me on my videos because I need this fellowship with my people. I've started making art journals. Matter of fact, I'm finishing one up today that I'm about to put in my Etsy shop. I'm going to slow stitch a tie to put around it. And I've been putting these on Etsy and selling them like gangbusters. And it makes me feel like even though I can't go anywhere or do anything, it's giving me purpose. So I'm so excited about that I feel so terrible that I'm here and my husband's out. God bless his heart, taking care of us. We've always made the pact that we would live off of what he makes, and anything else I make would be gravy. So, just spending money. So thank God I've been able to quit and he can take care of us and pay our bills. But selling journals and stuff has just been a godsend, and I'm having a blast doing it when I can get out there and get myself going to do it. So anyway, there you have it. That's what's up with me. I love each and every one of you. This has been truly art therapy with Birdie. I mean, I have loved every second. I just get on here not to teach you anything, but just to talk. because I just need somebody to talk to. So, thank you for listening to me. I hope I wasn't too much of a negative Nancy, and I hope just one of you out there I can help, and that maybe you'll go to a cardiologist and figure out you have POTS, or maybe you can see a Lyme literate doctor and find out you have Lyme, not knowing what's been wrong with you. But anyway, have a great day. Um, Thanks for hanging out with me, and bye bye from Birdie.